This is going to be a short video clip on how to prepare continuous bias strips. Currently I've got a piece of fabric which I've started working on, and I've established that this edge here is a straight grain. The print's slightly off, which is why it looks a bit wonky, but it's a straight grain. Now the tool I'm going to use to help do this, which is a rather marvellous invention, is a quilter's rule. I've got a handle on it so it's easier to work with. The first thing I need to do is to use the 45-degree line here to establish our starting place. So I'm going to put the 45 degrees on the edge of the fabric, and then holding carefully I'm going to draw myself a straight line. I'm using a pen for this exercise so that you can see what I'm doing. If I was using this on ordinary fabric, then I'd be using a chalk marker or a chalk pen or an air erasable pen, whatever you want really that stops your fabric from marking permanently. I'm going to draw myself in a seam line which I'm going to work to. So you can see at the moment what we have is a line coming diagonally down here, and then a line going up at 45 degrees there, and I'm going to work from that now. So using my ruler, I established for the neckline 2.5 inches works quite well, so I've got 2.5 inches there. And it's an old carpenter saying, measure twice, cut once. So I've measured 2.5 inches, and I'm going to draw another line. Move the ruler up 2.5 inches, and I'll draw another line. So you can see here I have a series of parallel lines. The distance that you want is really up to you, but if you remember, you're going to cut this, fold it in half and then seam it. You'll need to have it as wide as that. So I'm just going to pause whilst I do a few more lines, because that's not very interesting for you to see. You'll see now I've got a series of parallel lines, and note, measure twice, cut once. I actually made a mistake there, so that line has been crossed out. So I've got seam allowance on this side, which I'm going to extend up. I'm at the end of the fabric here, and so I'm going to use the 45-degree line here. You can see just lining it up there, and then I'm going to draw a sewing line there. Once I've done that, I'll add the seam line and I'll show you what it looks like.